So MinIO just pulled its Docker images, no more simple updates using Docker pull for the community edition. So here's what's changed, why it matters, and where Homelabers go from here. And today we're going to break all that down. Howdy folks, Zack back here with 45 Homelab. Over the last few months, MinIO's Community Edition CE has shifted fast, from trimming the web UI to most recently stopping the official Docker binary distribution for the Community Edition. If you run MinIO for backups, object archives, app storage in your lab, this episode's for you. So today, we're going to do a quick timeline of the biggest changes in the last few months, a deep dive into the most recent change, and why it matters for your Homelab CI/CD pipeline. Then we're going to go into options and alternatives, from staying on the CE with builds to trying SeaweedFS, Garage, or even Nextcloud. And this is just the latest list of changes from over the last 5+ months from MinIO. In June 2025, console features were removed from the CE. The Community Edition's web console lost most admin management features, user and policy management, metrics, replication views, and the CE kept a basic object browser. Full console functionality moves behind a paid product. And so that means users need to use the CLI for automation and most admin tasks. So October 2025, the CE goes source only. MinIO stops publishing pre-built Docker images and pre-compiled binaries for the CE. And the GitHub README now states source code distribution only. And this means no more Docker pull MinIO for new versions, and you must build from source. Then host or tag images in your own registry. Historic binary images remain, but they won't receive any updates. So TLDR, in a little over 5 months, Community Edition shifted from GUI managed and pull and run to CLI and built by yourself. Now let's talk about the most recent change. What happened exactly? Now there's no official Docker images for the CE going forwards. Release day CVE fixes no longer appear on Docker Hub, Quay, or the CE. No CE binaries either, so the project provides the source and a Docker file, you need to build it. And why that matters, so pipelines can break. Anything that did Docker pull MinIO needs to be rewritten to use your own registry or image. Security, so more manual now, requires you rebuilding from source, redeploying every time there is an update or security fix. And now you're really responsible for building your own images, signing, etc. And so it just leads to a lot more manual processes that were really automated in the past. So what remains the same? The CE is still AGP LV3, S3 compatible and performant. All the admin is still possible via the CLI, less UI, and more automation. So what does this mean for your Homelab? If you were to install CE today, expect no GUI admin, which has been the case for a few months, no official images, binaries besides past ones, and now plan to compile and host your own container images in your own registry, what have you. And now you need to adopt a workflow to facilitate that. So when it comes to security patching, you'll need to watch upstream for CVE fixes, rerun your build, and without that, your instance stays unpatched. The good news is that whether you stick with MinIO, try SeaweedFS, or Garage, all three are extremely flexible where and how they run. They're built for Linux first, but will happily run on Debian, Ubuntu, Alma, Arch, and even inside VMs on Proxmox. And when it comes to storage, they don't need any special file system magic, they just see a directory. So you can back them with ZFS on our little HL8 here. You can have snapshots, checksums, compression, all that great stuff. If you're more of a Btrfs person, you can deploy that, MDDM RAID with ext4 or XFS, whatever your flavor is. And each system sits happily on top of whatever you mount, which means you can start small with ext4, move to ZFS, what have you. And that flexibility is why these tools fit so well into Homelabs like the HL8. And you choose the OS, storage stack, redundancy model that matches your hardware and risk tolerance. Now, what can you do when MinIO goes down the more proprietary route? So you have a few options. Option A, stay on the CE and automate the new workflow, so you'll lock down a version, set up a pipeline to rebuild when needed. So an example, you'll keep your MinIO performance and S3 API, no product switch. Cons, you're building, scanning, signing, doing the distribution. B, you could freeze on a pre-changed version and pin an older tag that works with your stack. So cons, no patches, so it is a temporary and security absent. Is that the right term? Security absent option. Option C, you can evaluate alternatives. So OpenMax.io is a fork of the MinIO console. There's SeaweedFS, which is simple, fast. It's been around for over 10 years. Garage, which is a little bit newer, fewer moving parts, and it is a bit of a newer ecosystem. And Nextcloud. Let's say you choose the above, but you want to be able to share out that data, collaborate with people outside of your LAN, using an easy to navigate UI that's open source, purpose-built to be an on-prem collaboration platform. We'll look no further than Nextcloud. Now, most people primarily set up Nextcloud external storage using SMB or file, but S3 is absolutely an option. So MinIO's Community Edition didn't stop being fast, it just stopped being frictionless. If you're comfortable owning your own builds, the CE is still a great S3 target. If not, it's the perfect moment to test SeaweedFS, Garage, Nextcloud, and any other alternatives. So how do you feel about the news, the changes to MinIO has been implementing? Do you want to see some videos on how to set up Garage, SeaweedFS, or how to connect everything to Nextcloud? And see how it compares to setting up external file storage maybe. Do you already run one of these or an alternative? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see all the great stuff that we have on offer, head on over to store.45homelab.com. Our socials be in the description below. And if you want to see what people are doing with their home labs, check out our forums. That's it for this one. See you in the next time. See you in the next time. See you next time. Woo. They cannot leave this in here because I will spend the whole video doing this. Yeah, no, they gotta take this away from me.